You guys are right on it. Imagination right here as a child, exclamation point. That's come through. That was one of the themes that I've been channeling as well. And, you know, when we're kids, you have this like really, really ramped up imagination, and it's not by accident, right? None of this is by accident. We have this imagination because the imagination is part of our creation frequency. I mean, there are other things imagination's for, but as kids, and I really like this picture too, in a way. This is an older picture that I made. Absolutely critical for creation and manifestation. We're going to talk about quantum creation, quantum manifestation, and tomorrow's the 1111 portal. Our friends on the other side of the world are already there. Potent portal for manifestation. There are only 2 more portal days left as far as like 11/11 and then 12/12, closing out the end of the linear calendar or the Gregorian calendar. And we're going to kind of shift and transition into manifestation at this point. So just kind of moving into a frequency of manifestation. And I'll run you through some slides, and then we'll open it back up for what's coming through for everybody. So there are a lot of different techniques, and we've covered some of them previously. But whenever we're talking about manifestation, you definitely want to get clear on what you're calling in. Choose your words carefully. Try not to say I want or I desire, because the universe will say, oh, you're wanting? Perfect, more wanting. Oh, you desire? More desiring. So be careful with the things you say. Understand that your body is composed of trillions of cells, and those trillions of cells listen to everything that is said. They listen to you. Be specific with your intention. We do that. We do our intention every single meeting. There is this technique of like setting or calling in and then forgetting about it, releasing it and knowing that it is done. So a good way to memorize that is set it and forget it. And then calling your manifestation into completion. So we're talking about the frequency of quantum creation, number 1, and quantum manifestation. So calling it into completion, once you can write it down. There are all types of techniques that you can use to manifest. But calling it into completion, into the now moment. Imagine that it's already happening right now. So it's not like I'm manifesting from a space of, by 2026, by the end of 2026, I'm going to be a millionaire. That's not the most aligned way to do it. You're calling that frequency of your manifestation into completion in the now moment, and then giving gratitude for that completion frequency. So this is a little hack for you. So that gratitude, as you're calling your manifestation into completion, you're giving gratitude like it's already happened. So if I was manifesting a large sum of money, right? I'm not, but for the purposes of this example, I would give gratitude. In this example, I would say, oh, I am so grateful for the 6-figure sum of money, the 6-figure sum of abundance, I'll just leave it a bit more general, that I experienced, that I am experiencing right now. And then I would be grateful for all of the things that abundance frequency allows me. I have such an amazing house. My children are provided for. My family are provided for. My fur babies have their own room, whatever it is. So you're basically, and this is a technique, a kind of a little hack, is you're being grateful in the now moment for something that's already happened. So pressing forward with the slides. Some core principles here, and you guys will have the slides, and we're going to kind of breeze through these a little bit. So the 0 point, absolutely critical. 0 point calibration. Practicing non-attachment as well. Calling in from the unified field. A lot of these techniques are available to you. Calling in from the 0 point, calling in from the quantum field. This is the unified field. This is the 0 point. This is the void, is another term for that. Frequency too. Frequency is critical. So everything is available to you in the now moment. Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot. It's really about frequency alignment. So we talk about like high frequency, high vibration. So your frequency is also in turn your vibration. That's your ability to kind of attract and manifest into your current reality, your manifestation. And then that creation frequency begins with the frequency of who you are, not what you want in the now moment. Oops. Okay. I don't know what I did to my screen sharing. Hang on a second. Okay, got it. I messed it up. Okay. Shout out to Simi. This is her photo on the left. So giving credit to Simi. Multidimensionality, multidimensional access. The frequency of quantum creation, calling that in through your entire soul field. I think that harkens back to like inner child, higher self, future self, parallel lives, our oversoul collective, through the frequency of the crystalline template, crystalline architecture. I like what it says here, the more integrated you are overall, so quantum harmonization, the more harmonized you are with your aspects, the clearer and faster your creations can manifest. And then number 4, nonlinear timelines. In quantum creation, you collapse time and space. We don't need to wait. It's available to us in the now moment. You basically tune in with your frequency and align to those things and align to that frequency of what you're manifesting. If it's a future reality, a life that you're already living, and we don't have to do this the hard way. And I'll emphasize this. We'll take a moment here to really emphasize this. We don't have to learn these lessons the hard way. You already have your manifestations across all timelines, dimensions. We just have to remember. So we don't have to learn the lessons the hard way. We don't have to wait years and years and years. That is an old pattern, an old program. You know, as we're stepping into the 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D and above, frequency template, frequency matrix, and architecture that's anchoring, all this is available to you in the now moment. Here are some tools that are available to you. So timeline hopping, also quantum leaping. Vision boards, there's, the jury's out on vision boards, but I'm just going to include it on here because a lot of people love to use their vision boards. Anchoring of your multidimensional soul aspects. You can do that. You don't have to do it through MSI, but MSI is a technique that some of us are trained in and we can assist you in. You can use guided meditations. You can use your own meditations. You can use your highest self. The golden braid technique I'll talk about briefly. So if you imagine yourself and your soul aspects as having a golden thread, and then taking that golden thread and weaving that golden thread into your hair. So I don't have long hair, but taking that golden thread and weaving it into your hair. And then imagine your soul aspects weaving that golden thread into their hair. And then taking all of your soul aspects' hair that has that golden thread weaved into it, and then weave that. So you are a weaver. That's why we're called light weavers. Weave all of your soul aspects' hair together and imagine that as a braid or as a thread. Imagine that as a quantum timeline, a frequency of colors, prismatic threads. That's one of the techniques on how you can gain access to your other timelines as well. Quantum leap, there's many different techniques in quantum leaping. We've covered the 17-second reality hack by Brian Scott. I'll include the link in this video down below, linking you to that. There is also a playback where we go in depth and we practice that 17-second reality hack. It's a very, very quantum technique that's available for manifestation. Divine masculine, divine feminine co-manifesting together. So there's something very, very potent and powerful about the frequency of a divine masculine and the frequency of a divine feminine co-manifesting together. I will emphasize here in foot stomp that it doesn't need to be a male-bodied as the divine masculine, and it doesn't need to be a feminine-bodied or a female-bodied as a divine feminine. But that is available to you. So if you are wanting another very quantum and potent technique for manifestation, I can tell you absolutely without a shadow of doubt, I have used this technique. It works. I have called in and manifested many things in my life using that specific technique. And then quantum manifestation. Quantum manifesting is a specific modality I have a version of this channel modality that I use for clients and friends. So just dropping that seed that it is available to you as well if you want to call that technique in from the 0 point, from the void, from the quantum field. And I think the last one, we're almost done with the slides, so thank you so much for hanging in there. Observation and then conscious witnessing. So just like quantum physics, particles are collapsed by the observer, right? So there is like this, if you imagine this is actually from Brian Scott's 17-second reality hack. So if you imagine like, as you are observing, and it doesn't need to be like with your physical eyes, as you are observing, so we're talking etherically, astrally, multidimensionally, you can go all the way from your monad. We collapse this reality, and you can manifest and call that in with your attention, with your awareness through quantum entanglement. So quantum entanglement, this isn't just like spiritual woo-woo or spiritual jargon, if that's what you're thinking this is. There's actual science out there behind a lot of these techniques, and quantum entanglement specifically. And then your frequency matters. So if you don't remember anything else, what did I say? We'll recap the two things that we were going to remember. This is three. This is the third one. Your frequency matters. High frequency matters, right? Because your frequency in turn is your vibration. Your vibration is what we use to call into and manifest things into our physical reality. The other one was meditating and breathwork practices. If you don't have a meditation practice, highly encourage it. If you don't have a breathwork practice, highly encourage it. And then these are some discussion questions. I'm going to basically tap them into the chat and into the Telegram because I want to get back to what you guys have to say. But I have a bunch of different journal prompts and questions that you can use to connect with the Galactic Children, and that is the purpose of this. And yeah, I think we're going to end it there. Stop the share. All right. Yeah, thank you so much. So let's feel free to unmute and let's hear what came through for you. Even if you already talked earlier, I would love to, what questions you have, what observations, what quandaries, what came through.
Okay, since everybody else wants to wait, I'll go for it. Um, so I think earlier with looking at having like empathy towards someone else, seeing them as a child, I think that's something I worked with people with disabilities, those on the spectrum for 15 years before what I'm doing now. And that was a really big one that hit me for probably started even before then. But it's like what you hear other people say. I'm sure you probably say it yourself, but you never know what other people are going through. You never know. And I've had so many people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, man, can you believe so and so?" Da 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 da. And I'm like, "Well, I mean, they might have had a really bad day. What's going on in their home life? I don't know." I was like, "Who am I to judge what's going on in their life or whatever?" I was like, "You never know." And people watching in the cars when I was a kid, never like always like just wondering like 5, 10, 15 different possibilities of what that person, their life and what they're going to do, and you never know, you know. It's like, I don't know, that was just a big one for me. um Also the like something I just learned is get rid of the shoulds. So I think it was the idea of manifesting, and instead of saying like want or desire, it reminded me of getting rid of the shoulds and replacing I should with it would be nice to, because it actually gets you feeling nice about like it would be nice to, and then say what it is that you would have said should for, and then you actually kind of feel a little bit nicer, and it kind of like magnetizes you to it, and then it lets go of those walls and those cords of the shoulds. um, I won't say the other word that every time he said it, I'm like, oh yeah, the poops. Um, and then, yeah, I think as far as what I wrote down, that's all I wrote down. I know there was a lot more, but I'm going to keep it at that because I know there's other people that want to share. So I will bow for the moment. Thank you. I'm complete.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that so much. I like that, getting rid of the shoulds. And I love that we like to say, don't should on yourself or our day. That's what Christina shared. Yeah.